Hello, I'm Mrs. Mack, a third grade teacher at Lafayette Upper Elementary School. Go Lions! Today we are going to be learning about bar graphs. A bar graph uses bars to show a picture of the data collected. For example, the data that was collected was about students' favorite color. Okay, this is called the title. All bar graphs have to have labels. In this case, our labels are blue, green, orange, red. Bar graphs also have numbers to tell you how many. In our case, they are counting by fives. 5, 10, 15. So as I look at this, I can determine how many students chose blue. 10. I can figure out how many students chose green. 15. How many chose blue would be halfway between 10 and 15, which would be roughly 12. And then red is halfway between 5 and 10, which would be about 7. Okay, here's another example of a bar graph. Notice the labels are going up and down. We still have blue, green, orange, red. We still have our numbers of 5, 10, 15, and we still have our title of students' favorite colors. Okay, both of these have a title, both of these have a label, and both of these have a number. Okay, let's take a look at my first bar graph. Okay, I can tell that my numbers are on the side and that my labels are on the bottom. I have 80s, rock, jazz, country, and talk. What do you think the title of this would be? I would say that this is radio stations. Played. Okay. So we are going to write our title as radio stations played. And this bar graph shows the radio stations and how many times they were played. So as I look, I can look at the 80s radio station and tell that it was played 8 times. The rock radio station, 1 time. The jazz, 10. That has to be the highest. The country one was played 5 times, and the talk radio station was played 9 times. Okay, let's look at another graph. This one, the title is Years of Teaching. My label is the name of the teacher, and then I have my numbers going up the side of 1, starting at 0 all the way to 10. So it's asking how many years was Mr. Park been teaching? So I'm going to find Mr. Park, and I'm going to look at his bar graph, and if I look at what number that bar lines up with, I will see that he has been teaching for 4 years. Okay, now we're going to look at another bar graph. This one asks, this one, the title is Hours Worked. We have the days that she worked and how many hours she worked on each day. So they want to know how many hours did Jackie work on Wednesday. We're going to find Wednesday. I'm going to go across to where that bar tops out at, and I see that she worked 6 hours on Wednesday. Okay, I'm going to look at another one. The title of this graph is Pets. I have names of Warren, Brandon, and Fred, and I see that they have number of pets. So for every bar that it goes up, it is telling me how many pets each child has. So it wants to know how many pets does Brandon have. So I'm going to go follow my bar all the way up, and I'm going to slide it all the way across, and I see that Brandon has 8 pets. That's a lot of pets. Okay, this one, the town council reported on how many stop signs there are on each street. So my title of graph is Stop Signs. My labels are Walker Street, Marshall Street, and Peabody Street. And the proposed number of stop signs go up by twos: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So my job is to figure out how many stop signs are there on Peabody and Marshall Street combined. When you hear a sentence like this, they are asking you to add. So I need to find how many stop signs are on Peabody. I see it was 18. How many were on Marshall Street? I see that it was 10. And when I add 18 plus 10, I get 28. Okay, this one, a race car driver kept track of how many laps he drove in the past 3 days. The title of my graph is laps driven. My labels are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and my numbers represent the amount of laps he drove. Okay, how many laps did the driver drive on Tuesday and Thursday? So as I look at Tuesday, I see that he drove 70, and I'm going to add that to Thursday's, which was only 20. When I add 70 and 20 together, I get 90. So my race car driver drove 90 laps on Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, a bakery report recorded how many cupcakes it sold in the past 4 days. The title of my graph is Cupcakes Sold. My label is the days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then I have my numbers, which are skip counting by 10. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. My question is asking how many cupcakes in total did the bakery sell on Sunday and Monday? I look at Sunday, I see they sold 40. I'm going to add that to the one that they sold on Monday, which is 80. When I add 40 and 80 together, I get 120 cupcakes that were sold on Sunday and Monday. Okay, we're going to look at another one. Molly's class paid attention to how many bottles each student collected for their recycling project. My title is Bottles Collected. My label is their names of Molly, Wayne, and Dylan, and their number of bottles skips counts by 10. Together, how many bottles did Dylan and Molly collect? Molly collected 30. I'm going to add that to Dylan's, which he also has 30. When I add 30 plus 30, I get 60. Okay, a game website asked its viewers which game character was their favorite and recorded the answers in the bar graph below. Use the graph to answer the questions. This one does not have a title. It does have a label. My characters are Kirby, Mario, Sonic, Donkey Kong, and Sumus. And then I have the number of people that liked each one, and its numbers are going up by 1. So what is the difference? This word difference means I need to subtract to find the answer. So the amount of people that like Kirby is 10, and I'm going to subtract that from the amount of people who like Sonic, which is 1. And I get the difference between Kirby and Sonic. I get the difference of 9. Okay, how many more people like Kirby than Sonic? This is just the same way of asking the same question. I'm going to take the Kirby's, which is 10, minus the Sonics, which are 1, and I find out that 9 more people liked Kirby than Sonic. If you have any questions, please ask your teacher. Bye.